Previously, on Nuisance vs. the Constitution, it was noted that the Public Health Department is fully aware of the commercial dog breeding activities in middle-class communities. Additionally, the public was notified of the existence of a public health nuisance regulation through the July 24, 2011 newspaper article, Dogs Gone Wild by Tyrone Reed. The article quoted the then acting Chief Public Health Inspector of the Kingston and St. Andrew Department as saying, in reference to the dog breeding activities, the current situation is creating a hazard to health and life, and whatever is going to cause a nuisance, then we can ask you to reduce the number of dogs. Unquote. What did he mean by whatever is going to cause a nuisance? How is nuisance defined under Jamaican law? According to the Public Health Act, Nuisance Regulation 1995, Article 2 says, nuisance includes any nuisance specified in the first schedule. The word includes implies that the list provided in the first schedule is not exhaustive. It further implies that there are other nuisances, which is very well alluded to in Mr. Baker's expression, whatever can cause a nuisance. Who can cause a nuisance in the community, whether it be first, second, third, or middle class community? Article 3 says, no person shall cause or permit a nuisance on any premises owned or occupied by him. Part 2 says, no person shall cause a nuisance on any premises or aid and abet any other person to cause or permit a nuisance on any premises. No one means it does not matter if you're a gunman, a health inspector, a policeman, a friend of a politician. You're not authorized by law to cause a nuisance on any premises. So, fittingly, here is a preview of gang stalkers causing a nuisance on a premises directly in front of my property by contravening the Solid Waste Management Act. Details will be provided on how individuals are aiding and abetting the extortionists to create a nuisance on this property. While the newspaper article specifically dealt with the commercial dog breeding activity in the Kingston and St. Andrew area, it should be noted that the same conditions exist in the St. Catherine middle-class communities. Neighbors complaining bitterly of yards having 10 to 15 dogs, yards kept in unsanitary conditions, property sizes not conducive to dog farming, nuisances of all sorts posing various risks to health and life. With the publicized exception that the KSA Health Department is 2 notices more active than the St. Catherine Public Health Department. Similarly, according to one Mr. Junior Collins, member of the Citizen Association, and Mr. Sheraton Da Costa of the National Housing Trust, people have constantly complained about the dog activities on the premises of this dangerous family at meetings held by the Citizen Association. These complaints have been lodged long before I even moved on the premises. However, the dog breeder, in an effort to extort my property, would like people to believe that I am the only person complaining about their activities. Besides, Mr. Collins, in the presence of one Mr. Stephen Howell, said the dog breeder was in clear violation of the covenant of the scheme. Mr. Da Costa informed me that while acting on behalf of the Citizen Association, he personally wrote the St. Catherine Parish Council regarding the nuisances. When I just moved on the scheme, the dog breeder himself said the proprietor of Lot 301 was complaining about his dogs, and he could not bring his dogs on the premises on account of her. He alleged that she constantly complained about his use of jays. It appeared that this was just a scam to study my reaction to his constant complaining about the occupier of Lot 301. Why do I say this? When I refused to hand over a copy of my house keys to him, he suddenly became bosom buddies with the occupant of Lot 301. And the things he used to accuse her of, he began to accuse me. And all the occupant of that house participates in the gang stalking activities. What items in the first schedule may specifically refer to the commercial dog breeding activities that could cause a nuisance? Nuisances listed under the first schedule of the Public Health Nuisance Regulation 1995, which would refer to the commercial dog breeding activities, are as follows. 1. Any premises, because of being kept in an insanitary condition, is likely to be a health hazard. This was a condition of the yard before the Public Defender's Office got involved. While they had their yard in this condition, the malicious dog breeder had the gall to call my religious place of worship to say rat and lizard was leaving my yard to enter theirs. The fact that they called my religious place of worship and not the health department is an indication of their malicious intent. 2. The accumulation or deposit of solid waste of human or animal excreta. Just having one dog is enough to accumulate feces if you're not a clean person. Imagine having over a dozen dogs. 3. Dust, smoke, fumes, gases, or effluvia emitting from, by the action of any person. Four. Any animal that is kept in such a manner to become hazardous to health. If the yard space is insufficient to do dog farming, what would you expect? Article 4, Part 2. The carcass of any animal which is not buried or destroyed within 24 hours of the animal dying. What are the gang stalkers doing now? Around 1 p.m., someone threw a dead puppy in the bushes opposite my property. The stray dogs saw the action and they rushed to the scene, barking. They rummaged through the bushes, and in the morning they dragged the puppy out of the grass. At some time they haul it away. The intent is to have it make a stink in front of the property, a nuisance. But as the gang stalkers themselves have to pass there, they are offending themselves as well. Article 8 says, the infestation of flies, fleas, cockroaches, lice, rats, mosquitoes, etc. I always thought that Jamaicans knew how to take care of their dogs until I saw this statement in the Gleaner article and this action by the gang stalkers. Article 11. Offensive smells as a result of domestic processes.
Have you been what if a dog them over there afraid of pink up the place in a steam and I know they have vagabond is a nuisance. I don't know about thinking dog them over there think up the place, you don't know. You see what she has got through with them. Have you thinking dog them over there, one man over there, think about the dog shit, they don't know me going over there. They have to witness, I'm going to call Inspector Power now. I'm not like that not being a scheme.
What authority is granted to health officers regarding nuisances? And what responsibility does a health inspector have regarding nuisances? Let's reiterate the whatever nuisances created by this dangerous dog breeding family. Please bear in mind that some of these nuisances appear to be part of an extortion racket and can be construed as deliberate. Force-fed nuisances and who are the potential sufferers? We have already discussed the noise of the screaming and howling dogs, but let us reiterate here its impact. At any hour and every hour, from Sunday to Sunday, the dog breeder maliciously triggers the screaming dogs. So even if you are desired to sleep late Sunday or Saturday morning, think again. As early as 3 a.m., the howling, screaming dogs maliciously awaken you. The only time you do not hear the dogs is when the dogs are removed from the property, just before some form of inspection takes place. When you inquire into the case, you hear the man only has 3 dogs. This image taken on the same day looks like only 3 dogs. This is just one side of the yard and does not include the dogs in the kennels. The gestation periods of dogs is just 4 months, and dogs have been recorded as having a litter size of 18 puppies. Other force-fed nuisances. Dare to unwind? You're trying to relax from a day's work. You put in your favorite DVD and the neighbor triggers their dogs. Peaceful enjoyment of property? hammering, banging sound. Every morning while cleaning the doghouse, the malicious neighbor bangs on the board floor of the kennels as if the excrement in the board is buried. He's digging the dog droppings from the board flooring of the kennels. Dog scratching. The malicious neighbor put a big heavy dog in a board kennel right under my front bedroom window, and in the middle of the night the dog scratches out my daylight by waking me up constantly. Town crier. The town crier passes and you're in for it. The dogs let you know they are the dons of the community, so whether you are feeling ill, have a terrific headache, have a sleeping baby, just come in from the graveyard shift, that is none of their business. You are forced to listen to them. pot dropping. At around 3 a.m. in the morning, you can hear pot dropping to wake you out of your sleep. Pot scraping. Why has it been over 6 years the authorities have failed to enforce the law? Are residents of middle-class communities not entitled to enjoy their fundamental constitutional rights? Were the residents of Block 19 adjoining this vicious dog breeder defrauded by the Jamaican government, since these people have a right to flaunt themselves as vets, commercially breed dogs and introduce gangs in the community? So, how is Mr. Banwari affiliated with this case? Are the events preceding his death mere coincidences? Join me in my quest for justice as I explore crimes to perpetrate nuisance in Nuisance vs. the Constitution, Part 3.